What up, though? You already know who it is. This is your boy Q from Guy Talk Radio Podcast, and you're here for another edition of P's and Q's with Q. Now, today we're going to have a Q&A like we always do, but we're also going to talk about Donald Sterling. Yes, we're going to talk about his actions towards the Clippers, black people, Mexicans. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to shout outs. We're going to get into a lot of things. We're also going to talk about this conversation I had with this young lady, and she was telling me some good stuff, and I want to share it with y'all because she was speaking some real shit. Now, I think I started off with the Donald Sterling thing because I think that's the most talked about topic today. And, I have a lot of thoughts about this topic. I'm split, y'all. I'm split in between what I should do as far as should I really be happy that this discipline has happened for Donald Sterling. Now, okay, if y'all been sleeping underneath a rock, Donald Sterling is the Clippers owner. Well, might not be at the end of the week, but Donald Sterling is the Clippers owner. He said some racist remarks to his side chick. Yes, he's white, but he has a side chick, and um, he was recorded talking about the black people on his side chicks. I'll say girlfriend. His girlfriend's Instagram page. She had pictures with Magic Johnson, Matt Kemp, a few other black people. He didn't like it. He made it well known on the phone call. He basically said, if you're gonna like black people, you like them privately. He doesn't like black people come to his games. She is trying to explain to him that she doesn't want to turn on her own race. She's black and Mexican, and basically, the conversation was going like, "Hey, I'm not saying anything about you. You're a beautiful Latino girl, and I just don't want you promoting that type of stuff on Instagram." And she basically said, "Well, what about your players? Half your team is black. Your head coach is black." He says, "Well, don't they owe me something? I mean, I gave them cars, I gave them money, I gave them the clothes on their back, I gave them houses, I gave their family houses. What more do they want from me?" Things like that. So it created this uproar, not only in sports, but in the world on CNN, Fox, NBC, you name it. And I mean, athletes were outraged, especially the Clippers players. They protest the game. They actually still played in the game, but they threw their jerseys in the middle of the floor. They practice jerseys as if a sign of we not, cool with it. So Adam Silver, the NBA's commissioner, used to be David Stern, but he retired in January. Adam Silver is the new NBA commissioner, and he put his foot down and he basically said, you know what? We're going to ban Donald Sterling, the Clippers owner, for life, and then a $2.5 million fine, and we're going to have a meeting amongst the owners around the league to vote him out as an owner. Now, I do give credit to Adam Silver. That was actually, to me, a stand-up guy move. He's not going to give you suspension. He's going to take care of this right here, right now. And a lot of people were mixed on it. A lot of people said, "Oh, that's just a slap on the wrist." Oh, what? Why does he even get punished for saying something that he meant for it to be private? We're going to talk about all that today. Now, first, let me start off by saying my thoughts on this whole situation. My thoughts. Now, this is just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You can agree with me. It doesn't matter to me. I just want you to listen, and I'm going to bring up some great points. Number one, yes, the conversation he had between his girlfriend was definitely private. He was basically set up for failure, and should have been recorded. I don't know legally that should have been done, but it was. Did it come out publicly? Yes. So when it's something that's supposed to be private comes out public, there's nothing you can do about it. That's like you if you shout out to my my homies. I ain't gonna say my homies. I don't want to be interrogated, but some of the people I know out there that sell drugs or got that work in hood terms. Yeah, you might sell, you might make moves, you might move that dope, per se, privately. But when you get caught, that becomes a public issue. Okay? That's against the law. So no matter if you're doing bad things privately, that still doesn't make it good. There's still no excuse for it. You're just doing it because nobody else knows about it. Yes, it is freedom of speech. He can say however he feels, but in the position that he's in, he's an NBA owner. He's not Don Sterling that works at McDonald's and works the 9 to 5 shift Monday through Friday. This man owns a team for the Los Angeles area. There's 2 teams in LA, the legendary Los Angeles Lakers, and you have the LA Clippers. And not only do you have the LA Clippers, you own he's a billionaire. He owns different apartments. He's a businessman. He's a billionaire. And for you to even have that train of thought against minorities, and basically the reason why you're making money is because of minorities, is asinine. Now, he's technically married. His wife is, I think, a share owner of his team, and he has a girlfriend. I don't know, man. He might not like black people. He's sure acting black. He got a wife and a side chick, and he's still making money. That sounds like a black pimp, if you ask me. That sounds like Bishop Don Juan, but we'll go into that later. But anyways, his wife, they interviewed her and they asked her, "Is that your husband on that audio?" She's gonna say, "I'm not sure." You know how your husband sound. You've been with your husband for all these years, and you don't know how your husband sound on the phone. You don't know how your husband sound on tape. That's ridiculous. I think she's a racist as well. Now, a lot of people are saying, this is nothing new. The media is blowing this all up. Us as minorities, we need, as like I've heard this from African Americans, that us as minorities, we need to wake up and realize that this happens every day, and this shouldn't be something that's always talked about. First of all, you're right. We as minorities, African Americans, Mexicans, you name it, us as a minority, we do need to wake up. We do need to realize racism still exists. It's never going to go away. There's no plan that can make racism go away. You can help it, you can make it better, but there's no way you can erase it. Racism started at the beginning of civilization. Okay, you're talking about years, decades, centuries of this particular thing is called racism, and you expect to get rid of it within what, 10 years, a couple years? You think because we have a black president that racism was gone? No, it's going to get worse. When my son gets my age, I'm 26. When my son is 26, racism will be at an all-time high. Granted, we do have rights. Granted, we're able to go use the same bathroom now. We're able to drink from the same water fountain. That don't mean things have changed that much. Okay? For example, if I'm a black guy and I'm in Connecticut and I'm walking down the street and I'm walking in a predominantly Caucasian area, there's a lot of things that these Caucasians think, because for one, they don't see black people like that in Connecticut, and for two, they already have this judgment on us. For one, I could be, robbing somebody, selling drugs, looking for drugs, or I'm in a gang. Basically, let's not sugarcoat it, folks. Let's not sugarcoat none of this at all, because we as African American, me as African American, I do that with Caucasians. I will sit up here and admit that we're very judgmental. Each race is judgmental. We're going to judge each other's race. There's no stop. I guess that's prejudice, if you want to call it. But if I see a Caucasian walking down Inkster, Michigan, I seen a Caucasian walking down the street, I'm thinking he's high. He's he's trying to get selling some drugs. I'm thinking that he's, he's the feds. He's a informant. That's just how society is. Everybody has a judgment of each other's race. Now, is it right? No, it's not right. But us as African Americans need to realize we do the same thing as much as Caucasians do to us. And as far as like people saying the media is blowing it up, I mean, why not? Why when stuff happen to minorities, it shouldn't be blown up. Nobody should talk about it. When the Trayvon Martin thing happened, Oh, this happens every day. Why are people just glorifying it? Why are people buying Trayvon Martin shirts? Why are people doing that? I have a Trayvon Martin shirt. And I don't have an issue with wearing it. I don't have an issue with saying, yeah, I was supporting. Yeah, I was watching CNN all day. Yes, I watched the George Zimmerman case. Yeah, it was blown up big time. But it's because it's wrong. And because, you know, maybe the media takes something, and blows it up for, stories and publicity. It's still it's still an issue. I would never know, and nobody will ever know every single racist thing, every single court case, every single racist murder. We will not know all of it at once. But when we do find something, when there's something brought to the table, of course we're going to look at it. Of course we're going to take a look and say, you know what? That's not right. That's wrong. Okay? So as far as the media blowing it up, so what? So what? I don't mind them talking about a Caucasian still having the same thoughts of a Caucasian back in the 50s or the 60s, thinking that blacks are only worth, what they give them. That's slave owner mentality. Donald Sterling really represents a slave master, a modern day slave master. Come on, folks. You're not. I hope you're not as naive and stupid as I am. Now I could be sitting up there. Oh, you're going too deep with it. You're going way too. You're crossing the line. All that shit. Let me tell you something. I know enough about the 50s and 60s from listening to the stories my grandfather told me. My grandfather then cried to me privately about some of the stuff that he seen, some of the things that they had to go through. And he told me about the picking cotton and everything when he was, coming up when he was born. My grandfather is close to 90. He's almost a century old. So my granddad had seen it all. And, you know, that mentality that Donald Sterling has, that, okay, you can play basketball for me, you can run, you can jump, you can shoot and dribble, you can endorse Nikes, Adidas, Reeboks, Pumas, you can have commercials for State Farm and CarMax. You can have all these things, but you're still not worth nothing to me but that, because I'm the one that put the clothes on your back. That reminds me of a slave owner saying, you can pick cotton, break off branches, you can cook my food, you can feed my horses, cut my grass. You can let me have sex with your girlfriend or wife, but at the end of the day, you're still not worth anything to me, because I give you food and I give you water, and you should worship the ground I walk on. And that's the attitude Donald Sterling has. You tell me that's not no. Well, you tell me the difference. What? Because we have freedom papers now? There's a difference? There's no difference. Wake up. Wake up, my African Americans. Wake up, my Mexican descents. Like, wake up, y'all. Wake up, Arabs. Wake up, Asians. This is nothing new that's created by, quote unquote, the white man. Now, I got white friends. Don't get offended, white folks. I love y'all. I don't have nothing against any race. I don't have nothing against Caucasian. I told you when I back on the old P's and Q's episodes, my boy Rob, that's like my white brother. I talk about him all the time. I don't have nothing against Caucasians, but in the society that I'm living, my homeboy Rob, he will never know what it is to be not only an African American, but a black man in America. Just like, what's even worse is a woman that's African American. We won't be able to, if you're a Caucasian, you will never be able to understand that. I watched First Take on ESPN. I watched Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, and I give Skip Bayless the most utmost respect, because he always say, I would never be able to understand the pain. I would never be able to understand what you guys particularly go through, because I am not African American. But I do agree with Skip. He's not saying that it's easy for Caucasians, but for him being a Caucasian, he knows that he can never go through none of that. He doesn't have those same obstacles as African Americans or any other minority. I also heard that this whole plot, the Don Sterling, is to get Magic Johnson as an owner. It's a conspiracy theory. It sounds good. I don't have anything against that per se, but why would you think about it? You think about America, you think about business in America. Why would they want to get rid of a white owner for a black guy to come in that got many of other business? You tell me why that sounds right. I don't think it's conspiracy theory to get a black owner as the Clippers. We already have a black owner in Michael Jordan. Now, should that be the only owner of NBA teams in the league? No, that shouldn't be. Jay-Z owned part of Brooklyn Nets before he gave his share away so he can become have his own sports agency. But you know, as far as like this conspiracy theory that this was just a ploy to get Magic Johnson in charge, I don't get it. Why would they want an African American in there? Magic Johnson, he's a Laker. I'm not saying Magic Johnson would never own the Clippers. I'm not saying Magic Johnson wasn't interested in that job. But for you to make a white man look bad because he talked about African Americans and put another black person in charge, do you honestly think that is something that somebody's that's trying to do on purpose, a conspiracy theory? Your real conspiracy theories is Martin Luther King assassination. Your real conspiracy theories is Malcolm X assassination. Hell, your real conspiracy theories is Tupac Shakur assassinations. Those are conspiracy theories. So don't get it twisted. Your boy Q, I like to have fun on P's and Q's, but when you want to start talking on some intelligent shit, when you want to start talking about, back in the past and history, I can go. Your JFKs, that's a conspiracy theories, you know? Don't get it twisted. Now, as far as African American, I'm gonna speak to y'all and let y'all know what the deal is. Man, my Facebook notifications is going off in my tab. It's so irritating. I can't stop it either. Whatever. I have a message for y'all, for the African American community. I have a message for the minorities. I'm gonna scratch that, minorities. We need to wake up and realize that racism is here. It's not going away. We have to realize that in order for us to say that is wrong and that we don't like it, we don't need to do the same thing as well. Two wrongs don't make a right. I can't sit up here and bash Caucasians and say they're this and they that, because all of them are not. I don't think every Caucasian in the world hates African Americans or Mexicans or Asians or Indians or whoever. There's only a select few. And those select few don't belong in society right now. But maybe they do. Maybe they really do belong in society, because if you think about it, society is it's not the same. It's not the same as our parents growing up. It's not the same as our grandparents growing up. We have issues that my grandfather probably never dreamed of. Back in his day, there was no such thing as a school shooting. But yet, we had a person that come into a elementary and shoot up kids, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. My grandfather never dreamed of that. Society has really gotten good and the bad and the ugly. Growing up, my grandparents growing up, they ain't never think about somebody breaking in their house like that. Because when I was like 4 or 5, my grandfather used to have the screen door unlocked. He had the old-fashioned door back when I was young. The screen door unlocked with the fan on. Have his door open, let the air come in. We eating watermelon, watching Cops. I remember them days. And you can't do that anymore. For my son to go outside and just play in the front yard and me just sitting up there and running errands in my house or cleaning up, that's not possible. I have to be outside because so many things are happening. Society is not the same. So for us to kind of be surprised by this, we shouldn't be. This is nothing new, and there's nothing that's ever going to go away. as far as the players on the team protesting, I had to really put myself in that position of power as far as an NBA player. I'm split. Do I really give up my training camp, this 82 game regular season, these playoffs, these aspirations for championships since I was a kid, just because of some 79, 80-year-old man talking about black people's worth? Do I give all that up? Do I let this man control my destiny? I'm already rich, but I'm playing for a title. Do I really do that? Do I just keep playing? And then there's the other part of me. It's that Muhammad Ali part of me. It's that Sojourner Truth, that Harriet Tubman, that those powerful leaders, that Martin Luther King that's in me that want to say, you know what? I'm not playing for nobody that expects me to just make money for them, and I ain't nothing to them but money. I'm nothing but a dollar sign. I'm nothing to them but a jigaboo, a porch monkey. Why should I play for them? This is not something that's been buried under the rug. Donald Sterling has a history of racism. He was sued a few years ago because he owned apartment property. He didn't want to sell or rent to African Americans or Mexicans, and he had a suit for it, and he settled for it. And you know what he said? Well, it wasn't my money, it was the insurance company. Basically said, I can care less. It wasn't my money, and if it was, I'm a billionaire. You think I care? You know, and that's a shame. That's another point that I don't know why us as minorities we don't have those powerful leaders anymore. It's easy for me to sit up here in Q Studios and tell you I would have stood up and said it. I feel like I would. But until I'm actually on the Clippers team, I don't know what I would have done really. I would want to do that. The soul in me wanted to do that, but would I really want to do that? Would I really want to go against other teammates that, hey, maybe we should just play, and I'm not for it, and I'm being considered selfish? I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know exactly what I do, but I do miss them leaders. And I'm not talking about your Al Sharpton and your Colin Powell. I'm not talking about your Jesse Jacksons. I'm talking about the leaders that I just said, your Muhammad Ali, your shit, even your Bill Russells, your you know Jesse Owens, your Angela Davis. I'm talking about these leaders, these powerful people that say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not an object. I am a human being just like you, and I deserve the same respect that is given to you. Now, the question is minorities missing them leaders? Yes. We've been missing them leaders since I was maybe 10, 9 years old, okay? Probably since I was born, since 1987. You know what I'm saying? We don't have those powerful leaders. Everybody that basically could be leaders doesn't want to do it. You look at Michael Jordan. I love Jordans. I don't buy them all the time. When I do, hey, I'm looking fresh. I'm looking fly. Michael Jordan has the power to be a powerful leader. Even though I give Michael Jordan kudos for standing up and say Donald Sterling he's disgusted with Donald Sterling. He needs to be put out the league. Michael did speak up and say that wasn't right, and I give him kudos. But Jordan knows these kids kill each other and rob each other for his shoes, but yet he thinks more about the dollar sign rather than his African American community and say, maybe I should drop the prices down, man. Maybe I should make a more supply for them because I'm already established. I already have my brand. I have enough money. Hell, I'm an owner of a team. Maybe I should bring not only my prices down, but maybe I should make a more variety so people won't have to rob each other and kill each other. My African American youth that look up to me for all these years that I retired, maybe you should make it more accessible for everybody. I'm not saying make it as the same price as a Shaq and sell them at Kmart. Hell no. What I'm saying is, you see it happening, do something about it. You do something about it. You got Jay-Z and Beyonce. Oh, you didn't think I was going to call them out? Your boy Jay, Brooklyn Nets owner, Rock Nation Sports Agency, Rockaware, Rockefeller, even though he shared that with Dame Dash. Millionaire rapper. His girl probably got more money than him. I don't really see too much from their standpoint in African American issues. I really don't. Maybe I'm blind to it. I'm not saying they don't care. You can't record me and say, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they don't care. But I don't think they take initiative. I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking from the outside. Maybe I need to research more. But from what I've seen, they don't do a lot. I don't think it's their job to be role models, but to be leaders that know that minorities of all look up to them. We need those powerful leaders. We need that group. This generation does not have that group. My son's generation, they don't have that group that we can say, hey, this is my role model. Well, I won't even say role model. This is my idol. I look up to him. I look up to Spike Lee. I look up to people. I look up to older people. I look up to people like I said earlier, like Richard Pryor, like different people, Muhammad Ali. I look up to those people because they had a voice. They had a voice, and when things wasn't right, they'll voice it. You got people as far as athletes, um, I guess not speaking up as well. Like Chris Paul, he was in a bad situation, so I'm gonna leave him out of it. He's the leader of the Players Association that's in the NBA, basically like the union, and he's on the Clippers. So it was hard for him to really give his opinion. And as far as an associate director, you have to listen to all the other players in the league that's telling you don't play. You know, so I'll leave Chris Paul out of it. But I hope this is a wake up call to LeBron. This is Jay-Z, Beyonce, Michael Jordan, Kevin Hart. Like all these people, I don't know if Kevin Hart really speak up, but I mean, Twitter not gonna solve everything. When you're in a position of power, where you can speak up and you can create more things for the African American, was it NAACP? They gave this man an award. This crooked ass, excuse my language, this crooked ass, whatever you want to call it, I guess you can call it group, gave this man Donald Sterling a award, a lifetime achievement award, for what? Because he gave money to them to give African American scholarships. So they figured, well, he giving us money, so we good. That doesn't really, register with y'all. That's kind of bad. Brings me back to my point. Money, the dollar sign. Racism and dollar sign, they go hand in hand, folks. There's no in between. You know what I'm saying? If you rich, are you going to give back to your community? When have you seen Oprah give back to us? The O Network? It seems like we giving back to her. Maybe Tyler Perry a little bit. I heard he did some things in the community. I can't put him in that category, but these people are almost billionaire. I know Oprah's a billionaire. I know Tyler Perry is close to it. Probably is. Why not more leaders? Maybe you people that's listening right now, y'all can be the leaders. Y'all can be the people that my son looks up to and say, hey, this person, blah, 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 spoke up. We don't have those anymore. Sorry, that's just how things are changed. Now, in conclusion of this Donald Sterling issue, they're trying to vote him out. The owners around the league, they're trying to vote him out, and as if I don't know if that's going to happen, because this man, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I think that if he's voted out, you think he'd care? What is that? I do agree with some people. So what if he's voted out? Not too much can really happen. You think about it. The man is already set for life. He's almost at the end of his life. The NBA has some blame because they didn't nip this in the butt when it was available to nip it in the butt. When that whole lawsuit with those apartments was going on, he was about to get in trouble. But because his health was declining, the NBA figured, well, he'll die and we won't have to worry about it. He didn't die. It's 2014. He's still here. He's causing trouble still. Now, as far as all these other black people, I'll buy the Clippers. I'll buy the Clippers. Diddy, Mayweather, Oprah, um, you name it. All these black people coming out the woodwork to try to buy this team. Let me ask you a question. All these black people coming out to these hoods. Is all these black people going to Chicago to see what's going on? Is Kanye going to Chicago? You tell me. I think Ye goes to Chicago. I think Ye cares. I know Derrick Rose cares. Derrick Rose didn't pay for funerals. I like shout out to the ones that do, the ones that do help our communities and tries to solve things and not wait till things blow up in the media. I shout out to the game. I shout out to Derrick Rose. I shout out even to LeBron sometimes, because even though I do, some have my feelings about LeBron. LeBron will go back to Akron and he'll do things for his community. But you got some people that's too good to do stuff like that. I want Beyonce to throw a little, like I want to say little girl seminar, but I want Beyonce to have something where she has an event. She's that powerful. She's the, I hate to say it, I don't like saying it. She's the Michael Jackson of women, okay? She has that power to where if she wants to throw a seminar and back in her hometown, Houston, Texas, and have people come and say, look, we need to meet together. This is how a woman should be or conduct yourself. This is about love. This is about sex. This is the do's and don'ts. You tell me that wouldn't help these little girls out here that's getting pregnant at 12, that's getting STDs, that's dying, that's getting raped, that's out here having all these baby daddies. You wouldn't tell me that wouldn't help some of these females out here? It might. Let Jay-Z have his own seminar for these young adults, these knuckleheads in the street, and tell them how to really conduct a business, because he lived in the streets and he know what's going on. Let's do that. I always told myself, if I ever got a position of power, I'll try to give back. Not only to my hometown Inkster, but to everybody. I ain't gonna give you all my money, but I'm gonna give you some, and I'm gonna have things where I'm reaching out to the youth. I'm reaching out to the not just African Americans, but just the youth in whole, and grab them and say, look, I might not be able to save all of y'all, but there's some out there that I can, and let's do this. And then, shout out to Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis go back to people in, communities and give speeches, and I'm shouting out all those people that do it, but the people that don't, shame on you. Shame on you for having that power and not standing up. Are we cowards? And I wouldn't think we're cowards. I don't think we're scared, but I think it's a money issue. Because if you think about it, do you really want to piss off white America? Do you? Are you willing to risk that? Are you willing to risk white people not endorsing you? I'm willing to risk it. Shit, I've been broke before. Will it stop me if I'm rich? It's my fault if I lose my own money once I get rich, once I get wealthy. I'm just saying. Y'all need to listen to Q, man. I'm not here. Like I said, I always come on P's and Q's. I give you my stories about my exes. I give you my stories about things I go through on a daily life, questions and answers about relationships, sex, whatever. But I had to have a heart-to-heart to come to Jesus meeting with y'all and let y'all know that this is a good issue to talk about on this show, because everybody watch basketball, everybody watch TV, and everybody experience racism. I had a young lady, and we getting out the car at the same time in the parking lot. I open my door, I'm getting out. She's in front of me. I'm behind her. She locks her door 3 or 4 times. Boom, 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 to make sure that door was locked. Make sure that I wouldn't go back in there. Did it surprise me? Not at all. Not at all. Because it's not that I expect negativity, but when it's brought to me, I'd be surprised. There's assholes out there. There's people out there that still believe that we should be hanged from a tree. I was at work one time last year. I won't say the workplace. But if you know me, you already know what it is. I'm sitting back, I'm sitting in my chair, and I'm in break. Mind you, I'm tired. We're busy today. This guy comes back there in the break room. He sits down, he's reading the newspaper. He's talking about all these killings that's going on around the neighborhood or around the city or state of Michigan. And he was like, you know what they should do? You know, they should bring back public hanging. Now, me as an African American, I hear the word hanging or anything to that nature, my eyes get big and I'm alarmed. Not because I'm just this Black Panther, this intellectual deep guy. I'm this Cornel West guy that everything is racist. No, it's a nerve that you don't touch in the African American community. That's something that you don't touch. So I'm sitting up there. I'm not saying anything because I wanna hear this shit. I really want to hear what he's going to say. So he goes into saying, you know, that way you embarrass them. That way they'll cut down crime. People won't want to do anything anymore because they'll be embarrassed to get hanged in front of everybody. Now the only people I remember getting hanged was witches and black people. Now some of the other hangings within the mafia and all that, I don't count that. That's mafia shit. Excuse my language. Okay? So I'm hearing that, and just for somebody to be so dumb and ignorant to say that reminded me when I was 25 at the time. It reminded me that as a 25-year-old black man, this ain't going away. People still think we shouldn't go to the same water fountains and bathrooms as other races. We should be all separated. This doesn't this is not the beginning of this, like everybody says. It's not. Look at your Dime Imus. He was a radio person now, something that I'm trying to become. He gets on the radio and says, nappy headed hoes. Now, them girls' heads was a little nappy, but they hooping. You know what I'm saying? And besides the fact, it was a little racist, and hey, he paid for it. You got the guy from Seinfeld, Kramer, saying nigger on stage. No FUCK's giving. Just saying it, whatever, and got booed off the stage and get mad. This ain't nothing new, y'all. Nothing new at all. Paula Deen. Is that something new? When you heard that, was you surprised? I was a little shocked at Paula Deen. And then she says, I don't know black people. I work with black people all the time. Just because you work with somebody does not mean you know the African American community. That does not mean that you know what we go through on a daily basis. You don't know what it feels like to walk into a predominantly white restaurant and everybody looks at you like you don't belong. You don't know what it is to go in an Aeropostale or American Eagle and you just want to pick up a regular shirt and people look at you crazy and think you don't belong here. You should go back to Sean John or Rockaware. You don't know what it is to do that. Now, let me ask y'all this question. You think if Donald Sterling was black and he said he don't care for Caucasians, do you think they would have hesitated? Do you really think that he would still be the owner today? I'm not even gonna answer it because y'all know that wouldn't happen. If this man was African American and he was first of all he's not right because he has a wife, he's married, and he's on the phone with his little mistress, and then he's gonna say he doesn't like white people. He wouldn't be able to work in America again. But that's just how society is. It's a double standard. You know? I'm just giving you all aspects of it. Yes, he has freedom of speech. He can say whatever he wants. I can sit up here and say whatever I want right now. But does it mean that it's not right? I mean, does it mean that it's right? Is it not? that's not disrespectful, you know? I don't know. I think this is a wake up call. They didn't need to wake me up because I already I've been up. I've been up since '87. I'm not stupid. When I was in eighth grade and this little white girl called me a nigger, I knew it hasn't stopped. I'm not saying it's her fault. Maybe she's raised like that. But it is what it is. Now, P's and Q's Q&A. Yes, I know y'all. I had to, get a little deep with y'all. I had to break it down. Okay, because before I go into Q&As, let me lastly say I'm doing this because this is what I love to do. People. I can't think of the guy that I really want to. I don't want to say the wrong name, but basically radio personnels, like people in sports, people like Jackie Robinson, people like that. They opened the gate for me to be able to even give my freedom of speech, to even have my own internet podcast. Because without them going through what they went through and taking that abuse, we'll still be sitting up there asking, can we use this water fountain to drink from? But I'm here live and I say, you know what? I have an opinion and I'm going to spill it out. This is my field. This is what I like to do. I like to write. I like to hoop. I like to talk my shit on my show. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, if you don't like it, hey, you don't like it. But I'm not going to sit up here and disrespect anybody that's, of another race. Not at all. But all right, Q&A. This is P's and Q's with Q, Q&A. I'm sitting up here watching this game. What is this? The Portland Trailblazers versus the Houston Rockets. I don't really care for neither one of these teams. I don't like Dwight Howard though, but that has nothing to do with Q&As. All right, so my first question is from a young lady, and I think we answered a question similar to this. Why is it called a threesome when it's two girls and a guy, but it's a train when it's two guys and a girl? It's a great question. Great question. I don't know. I do. Well, okay, I do know. Like I said back when I was talking about the whole Donald Sterling thing, even with gender, male and female, it's a double standard, lady. It's a double standard, miss. I mean, you can't have two penises around you and not for a guy to think that you're a little hoish. Now, we're a guy that have two vaginas around him. It's acceptable. I don't know why. I just think that it's we're more comfortable with girl on girl. I think girl on girl was introduced way back, and now we're used to it. To see, two guys and a girl, yeah, it's a little racy, But personally, no, I wouldn't. No, my girl. Well, you can have one of your boys. It's over for you to even think about that. It's over. We're done. Break up. Some girls do say that, like, if you ask them for your girl for a threesome, like, babe, I want a threesome so bad. So, okay, well, let me have a threesome too. She just make you not ever want a threesome, never ask again, never want a fucking threesome ever again. Like, nope, I'm straight. I won't ask you that shit no more. We won't talk about that anymore. All right, my next question. My next question is from my homeboy. He said, my girl can't cook. What do I do? Man, order fast food. Order fast food, my homie. You don't want to sit up there and tell your girl that she can't cook. You will hurt her feeling so bad. That's like telling her that you fucked her sister. You don't want to do that? Don't do that, man. Because girls take pride in like two or three things: cooking, cleaning, and sex. And I'm going to tell you, number one is cooking. Because they feel like they can win a man's heart if you cook. Shout out to the women that cook for their man. Shout out to the women that cooked for me before. I love y'all. I never really had nobody that didn't cook good. The last girl that cooked for me was pretty good. Shout out to you. You know who you is. I'm hungry too, girl. All right. Next question. All right. It's from my homeboy. He asking another it's the same homeboy that asked about his girl can't cook. I want to say his name, but I think his girl listens to my show, and I don't want her feelings to be hurt because of me. But anyways, he's basically saying, how do I feel about going to the store and getting your girl some pads? How do I feel about that? I know if I have a daughter one day, I might have to do that, and I would prepare myself for that. I would do that. But my girl, no. What the fuck am I? Why am I going to the store for you? The, you know, no. You have to be sick. You have to be like, you got to have a flu. You got to have pneumonia. You got to be paralyzed. You have to be in a couple car accidents. I'm not going to the store and getting some pads. You want to use my car? You can use my car to go to CVS. You need some money? I give you the 20 ball to go get you some pads. You're not gonna be sitting there bleeding around here and then talking about go to the store. No, you go to the store. I put groceries in this house. I pay the bills. I'm straight on that. I'm straight on that. And, Kill, you need to grow up. You need to be more mature. You're never gonna get a wife. You're never gonna get a girlfriend if you have that attitude. Man, kiss my ass. I guess I won't have no girlfriend or no wife. Hey, shout out to Miss Johnson, the future Miss Johnson, whoever you are, Miss Johnson. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna play all these P's and Q's with Q because I shout you out on every show because I don't know who's gonna be my future wife. But if you listening, you need to listen to this before our wedding. You just really decide if you want to marry me or not. I'm not getting you past, sweetheart. I'm not doing it unless you ain't got no legs and you in a wheelchair. Then I'll hook you up. I'll go get them. But if your legs work and everything is cool, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm straight. All right. Um, I'm gonna ask a female question because I got two from my homeboy. Let me go through her. I get emails. Look, if you got questions or concerns, email me at godtalkradiopodcast@gmail.com. Email me or Facebook me at Quentin L. Johnson. Facebook me, and I have a God Talk Radio podcast group. Put the question on the group page. Join the group page. Do your thing, man. We got a God Talk Radio podcast Instagram. We also have a Twitter in the works. Who is calling me, man? Damn, I'm doing the show. I can't see from right now because I got it on the charger, and I ain't about to let go of my folks that's listening live right now. Forget that. Let me go to the females. What do women prefer? Wait, I read that wrong. What do men prefer? Shave or hair? Now, if you sleeping underneath a rock, they mean, do you prefer the vagina to be clean shaven, or do men really like the hair? They like the little, a little path, the little jungle. I'm gonna put it like this for me, ladies. I don't mind shave. Shave is cool with me. That's cool. I'm feeling it. Hairy hair, the minimum. The least minimum. You can't have a lot. I can't be sitting up there. I'm sorry to my older family or my older fans that's listening. I don't want to have you think that I'm just some heathen. I'm just talking hypothetically because I'm a gentleman and you know that I'm a scholar and I don't do things like this. But if I was to choose to go down on a young lady, I want to go to work. I want to get sloppy myself. I want to do whatever I got to do, but I don't want no hair in my mouth. That's fucking gross. Yuck. I just spit. Ugh. Just the thought of it. Yuck. Ugh. Just keep yourself right. Ladies, you already know. Your mama, I hope your mama's told y'all. Some of y'all mamas ain't tell y'all nothing. But I'm just saying, I hope y'all right. Shave is cool. I remember when I was younger, I didn't care for shave because I felt like it was a little girl or some crap like that. I don't know what I was thinking now. Shave it off. Hey, here are the Clippers. Do your thing. Speaking of Clippers, shout out to Donald Sterling. Psych. Thought you had a friend, Donald. All right. Next question. Do, 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 do. I'm gonna have my homeboy. My homeboy like has so many questions, man. We just gonna ask his. We gonna answer his. He says he's got a lot of complaints about his girl, man. Yeah, why you still with her, bro? Why you still with her? She do all this. He says when he's in the car driving, he cannot stand when his girl changed the station. She changed to Beyonce. Then when he changes back, they get into an argument. What should he do? If she's in your car, bro, in your car, I'm not sure you still pay a car note. Oopsie, I'm about to give it away. Oops. I'm not sure what your situation is. If that's your gas in there, them your tires, them your brakes, them your steering wheel, them your rods, that's your engine, that's your alternator, them your headlights, them your windows, them your doors, them your rear view mirrors. Bro, she has no right to change your station in your car. She can turn it down because she on the phone because mama calling. But if she changes because she doesn't want to hear what you're playing in your car, and she didn't ask, and she just changed, man, cuss her ass out. Yeah, cuss her ass out, man. Fuck that. I had that happen to me in a relationship all the time. I got into so many arguments. I don't like that. Back in the day, I think it was some Jeezy playing. I think it was Who Dat. And that was my song, you know? I'm like, Who Dat? Well, Jeezy going in on that. And then she changes, and it was like, I don't want to say it was Beyonce. I think it was Rihanna. And I just gave her that look like, excuse you? Change back to Who Dat, Young Jeezy. Then she changes back to Rihanna. I was like, what is you doing? I don't want to hear that. Well, if you don't want to hear it, you politely ask me to change the station. You don't just go do shit. You don't see me coming to your car and just start changing shit and putting CDs in. That's another thing. Bro, if you in her car, you got to take the blows, man. You have to listen to what she want to listen to. I hate that. I hate riding in the car with girls. Not for one, y'all can't drive. Yeah, I said it. I said it on Guy Talk Radio podcast. I said it on P's and Q's. Women, y'all can't drive. Y'all not good drivers. Y'all drive like blind mice. Y'all can't drive. I'm straight on it. But if I'm in the car with my young lady and we riding out, I gotta take that. I gotta take it. I gotta take that blow. I gotta listen to Beyonce Partition. I gotta listen to Rihanna. I gotta listen to Keisha Cole. I gotta listen to all these men bashers. I gotta be in this car and just listen. What I do is I either zone out or I have my Bluetooth on. I just put my phone, put my music on. Like, shit, I ain't gotta hear none of this. Whatever. I'm gonna ask one more question, answer one more question. I'm gonna get up out of here because it's 11:30 at night. This is a late night edition of P's and Q's. I think I'm gonna do another one maybe Friday because I don't got no plans. I don't think. But I'm gonna answer one more question. I'm gonna cook something real quick. I know it's too late to be eating. Nah, fuck you. I'm gonna eat. I'm hungry. Had a rough day today. Busy day. Let's see. Should I have female? We're gonna end it off with a female. We're gonna end it off right. Give some young lady out there some advice to help her with her situation. All right. She says, should I judge my boyfriend from not having his own place? That's a great question. It kind of depends on the age and the situation. Now, I believe if you're in your 30s and you don't have your own place and you still roommating with your college buddies, it's a little iffy. It's a little iffy. Now, the situation do come about where, hey, you got a roommate. You got to have a roommate. I think maybe I'm reaching too far, but maybe over 35, I give it. It should be a little less than that, but I know things happen. This economy's crazy. Some people got to take care of their parents. You know, everything. I know how it is. So maybe 35. If you're 35 and up and you ain't got your own place, then Go outside, get an extension cord, and hang yourself because there's no reason why you shouldn't. There's no excuse. And I don't think you should be so judgmental if he's grinding, he's working towards it. If he's working towards it, then you can't get mad at that guy. You don't know his life. You don't know what he's been through all of his life. So if he's grinding, he's getting money, he's working towards it, he's telling you like, babe, I'm getting my own place, I'm just working towards it. You gotta respect him and just be with him. That's why they had the ride or die chicks. That's what a ride or die chick too. That don't mean stick for the BS, but that means that you have to be there when he's grinding, when he's trying to get to that point. That's something that I look for in a woman. That when I'm down, when I'm broke, when I ain't got it, that you there and you seeing my progression. So when I'm here with my success, when I got my profits, when I'm doing good, that you there with me and I can share it with you and we all can just eat. You know what I'm saying? So don't be so judgmental. And I think women out there are judgmental when it comes to guys not having materialistic things. I guess a car is like kind of uh I guess you can say a car is a need for women, but just put it like this: if a guy got a vehicle where he can get to you and check you out, if it ain't his or his, just be happy with that. I ain't saying you gotta settle. You ain't gotta settle. It's just your preference. Whatever you prefer, whatever you can be patient about. Am I picky about a woman having a car and a place and all that? Not really. I'm not that picky about it. I understand that things happen. I've been there. Maybe because I've been there. I had it where I ain't had no car. I had it where I ain't had my own crib. You know, it takes time for certain stuff like that, man. You just can't be so judgmental of people in their situations. Get to know that person. Get to accept that person. If that person is treating you right, then accept them for who they is. Real talk. All right, man, we're going to end P's and Q's on that note. And I want to shout out to everybody that's listening right now. If you're listening in a different state, if you're listening at work, you listening at your mama crib, whatever the case may be. Man, shout out to y'all for supporting me. I went to Vegas like a couple weeks ago, making moves, trying to do things, trying to grind for y'all. Um, we should have a Guy Talk Radio podcast next week. We'll have better audio. So we've kind of been slacking on it, and I'll take responsibility for it because a lot of things. I've been so busy with other things and trying to get production right and trying to get myself right as far as basketball and my son. So I ain't had time to really been, you know, grinding as far as the actual show on Thursdays at 10. But I'm telling you, next week we're gonna have Guy Talk Radio podcast live on Ustream at 10 p.m. and we're going to have some like out cold topics. Like our topic's gonna be nice. I'm gonna make them up. I'm gonna get with my team. I'm gonna get with Truthie, Abstract Jazz. We're gonna come up with some clever shit, and we gonna kill it like we always do. Like we always do at this time. I go for mine. I got to shine. So throw your hands up in the sky. Oh my bad. That's my song too. Shout out to Kanye for not divorcing Kim. I know that was random. That didn't make sense. Whatever. I thought it went right with it. Whatever. Shout out to the Washington Wizards of the NBA for beating the Bulls. Get them out of there. I hope Miami lose. To all my sports fans out there. Shout out to my family and friends like I always do. Love y'all. Appreciate the support. Also, side note, I am throwing a 90s party in June. You heard it first on P's and Q's with Q, a 90s party and all y'all invited. Now, you don't have to dress per se by like you're in the 90s, but we playing this 90s music. You're going to get Tupac, Biggie, Total, SWV, Tevin Campbell, Boys the Man. You're going to get all that. I'm just letting you know. I might have some 40s too. Now, I ain't going to go that far. I'm just going to have some Hen Dog. Y'all can bring whatever y'all. It's BYOB. I might have a couple bottles there. But, hey, I'm not Jay. I'm not balling like that. I don't ball so hard. Okay? I ball enough. And y'all not about to come to my crib and drink all my shit up. Y'all bring your own shit and drink your own shit up. I have a few bottles. I have like a VIP section for my crew. And y'all can drink, but for like y'all bring y'all friends and girlfriends and boyfriends and all that, y'all might want to go stop at the liquor store across the street from my place and go bananas in there because this ain't This ain't Harlem Nights. This ain't the Boom Boom Room. I ain't playing all that shit. This ain't what is it? Sugars? Something Sugars Room? It ain't that. Ah, my ears itching, man. Oh yeah, man. You know, weekends approaching. Man, y'all be safe out there. Be careful. Don't make no babies unless y'all are planning. And yo, this is Q. Like I said, I hope y'all enjoy the show. Get back at me. One love.